What's up, YouTube?
What's going on, guys?
Hola.
We're
starting, man. We're live,
We're
bro.
fucking live, man.
Oh, all right.
You know,
We're
once
getting
you, hear
to
the,
it.
once you hear the clap, that means it's fucking, you know,
It's time to
watch,
go.
watch your P's and Q's, honestly.
Okay.
But now,
You know, we ain't trying to get canceled yet.
It's too early. It's too early.
You know,
It's too early for
like,
that.
I want to be on top and then get canceled and then come back. You know?
Right, exactly.
1 week.
A good
we have a fucking. We have a. What would you call it? Not an.
You have like a moment of fame. With,
we got like.
Yeah, like we're
You're at the
somebody
top.
somebody with some clout, and then we just get canceled.
Yeah, exactly. Can't do that, man.
Nah, but we
Gotta
speak.
start
We
somewhere.
speak freely on these mics. To an
that's
extent.
good.
To a T, you know, and you still gotta
As
watch
it
out.
should be.
You know, you gotta watch out what you say. Obviously, you say things behind the camera, which is cool and this and that, but
Just not on the camera.
yeah, just not on the camera. We gotta, you know, be all right. So, you want to introduce our guest, James?
Okay, so today we have my friend Jessica and Drew. And I'm not going to let... I could introduce them, but we'll let them talk about themselves because this is what this is for. For
That's
you
what
to
it's for.
come to the mic and
Let us know what you got going on.
Right.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, my name's Jessica. Jess, because I hate when people call me Jessica. I feel like I'm in trouble. Or Jessie. That's another one. That's like a big no-no for me. But yeah, I mean, I have a full-time job, kind of doing, you know, I manage a department for Torrance Memorial. So, but you know, one of the biggest things that I think is important to me has always been art. So that's kind of what I'm here to talk about.
Okay.
My name's Andrew, Jessica's beautiful boyfriend.
I was gonna say better half.
I thought you were going to call me beautiful. I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
And just,
My boy's heading on fit through the door when he walks out of here.
Pretty tight.
I'm telling you, dog, once the cameras come on, people change, man.
Right?
I don't want to really
beautiful,
do this.
he's beautiful.
boyfriend.
It's true. It's very true. Very, very true.
Hey, man. So, AKA Duct Tape Drew.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So give us a little bit about you. You're in art as well. Is that...
More of it has been the way I see it, but I used to paint, used to tattoo, got into cars, and
That's the
pretty
gist
much where
of
I'm
it.
at. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll ask the first question. How'd you two meet?
Well, we met on a dating app.
Okay.
So
New world.
plenty of fish, to be specific.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. So, and then our first date, because it was during COVID, so we didn't really have any options or too many options on where we could go on our first date. So we went to In-N-Out.
It was the day after Christmas.
It was
so
the day
everything
after
was closed.
Christmas. Everything was closed.
My boy wasted no time.
Well, actually, it was me. It was me. And then, yeah, we went to In-N-Out, and that was, like over a year ago? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
Yeah, 2020.
yeah.
Been rocking together ever since.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. It was cool, like, because, you know, you meet people, and I had been on a few dates before I met him, and so, you know, and I got out of a really bad relationship a few years before, so it's like you meet people, and you're like, oh, God, you know, dating's hard. You know, dating is hard. You know, meeting someone, getting to know them, you feel like you're on an interview. It can get fucking weird. So when I met him in person, it was nice, because it was like, I feel like we instantly vibed, and like, we could just talk and be ourselves, and I think that's one of the most important things when you meet someone is to just, yeah, it should be easy, you know, at the beginning. You know, of course you're gonna have your ups and downs, but for the most part, it's good. Can't complain. So, but when I do, he hears it. So,
Yes. It's very true.
but yeah, it's very rare. So it's been good. It's been good. So, and then I think he kind of sells himself short as being like a has-been and, you know, an artist. Like, he's really talented, you know. He used to, you know, I don't know if you want to call it, I don't want to, you know, insult you by calling it tagging. Is that?
It's graffiti.
Graffiti, yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, he's really good. You know, he knows how to, I thought, you know, I'm like, oh, he's going to show me how to graffiti. It's going to be no problem. I can paint. I can do all this stuff. That shit is hard. You know? And so, he's really good at that. And then the tattoo stuff too, he's really good at that too. Because tattooing is a skill. I mean, we all have tattoos. So, that is an art form in and of itself. So, he should get back into it because he's very
I
talented.
would like to.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
it's never too late, man.
no, it's not.
That's another thing too. Like I like bringing up because like we have regular normal jobs,
Yeah,
like
we
same
do.
thing with Pancho. That's why I want to bring that up too. Like, okay, he does his little music thing and his hosting
Yeah.
stuff, but he still has
A regular
a
job.
regular job,
Yeah.
and he talked about that what helps, I guess fund what he does on the side too as well. Just like us,
Yeah.
we have a regular job, and this is what helps. That's what helps funds this.
Yeah.
Help. That's what funds.
That's
this.
what funds it. Yeah, honestly, yeah. 'Cause there's nothing coming in yet,
Right.
but.
Yeah.
So that's something I like to talk about too, because it's like, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, I want to be a musician. That was my shit. I
Yeah.
wanted to be a musician. That's what I wanted to do. I was just dead on it.
Yeah.
And then one day I was like maybe 14 or 15. My dad comes into my room and he's like, hey man, there ain't no money for college, so I don't know how you're gonna figure it out. And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well I guess I'll find something to do.
Yeah.
And then that's when I got into my trade, and then I got into that. Music went another side, and then now I'm able to buy any instrument, whatever I want now.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
and now it's more of a hobby than what
Yeah.
I guess being a profession or whatever. But
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah, I
see
mean,
it.
I think too, and having a full-time job and everything like that, I think you then really take advantage of the time that you have to do the things that you like to do, like art or work on the cars and stuff like that. It really makes you appreciate that time that you have to do the things you love, and I think that's important. So
Yeah, you realize that. You're exactly right. You do really realize when it's like when you do have that day off, it's like, damn, this is all the time I have to do this. So you really got to make it count, man.
You do.
And really
yeah,
put whatever you need to do and prioritize, and but I feel like you can't really make an excuse either for it. You have to
Yeah,
do it.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then that too. It's like not to knock you, Drew. Like you have a lot of different hobbies. Not well. I mean, now
Got a few.
the car thing kind of took it over, as it did for me too. Like
It's the main one, yeah.
we can talk about that too. I mean, I was shooting, I was fishing, and now it's just a car. Like I haven't even picked up a fishing pole in God knows how long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, when you find that thing that you really want to do, then you stick with it and you make the time. So now it's cars and podcasts because that's what we're trying to really. And I mean, I feel like it doesn't feel like extra work. It's fun.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's something you like to do.
Yeah, because it's like what he was saying before. It's like we sit around and we bullshit for hours at times.
Yeah.
Like we're just talking,
Yeah.
like with my roommates and whatever. We'll sit and we'll talk about everything: politics, fucking sports, fucking what's going on with the cars.
Yeah.
And then like my roommate, he's in that Miata club, and we'll talk about that.
Oh, shit.
So it's like
Yeah.
we're all over the place. So it's like why not talk about it? I guess some people like to hear about it. So
Yeah, I mean,
there's
everyone
that.
has their thing, and I feel like, for those people who don't think like, they can connect with you because you have the similar interests, and and sometimes people don't have people to connect to, so I think it's good to, make those connections with people too. So
There's a forum out there for everybody. All right.
that's right.
There's shoe for every foot.
That's right. Yep, exactly.
All right, Jess. So, when did you decide? And we're looking at a couple of the pieces that you brought in today.
Yeah.
Very talented.
Thanks.
When did you get into art? When did you first start?
Well, it's kind of funny because I went to Freeze Elementary in Wilmington, and I had a math teacher. Her name was Mrs. Payne. I think it was Payne, and she didn't teach us shit about math, but we learned a lot about art. And I remember that being kind of like my first memory of getting into art and stuff like that. And then my grandma, she owned her own graphic arts business and printing business for a long time. So art was kind of always in my family. My grandma was a wonderful artist. My great uncle was a great artist. And it just kept through my whole life. And then growing up and kind of being the nerdy kid in school, and not really having a lot of friends and everything, you kind of lose yourself into certain things that make you happy, and art was always one of them. So whether I was doodling in my notebooks at school, or painting on the weekends or what have you, it was always something that I always was doing something with art. And then it just kept throughout my whole life. It was just something. It's something that gives me makes me happy. Now, granted, there are people out there who are extremely talented, and it's practice. You know what I mean? You got to start somewhere. But yeah, art's one of the things it's an outlet, and I think that's something that's always helped me through everything, is just kind of having that outlet. So, yeah, and then I dabble, I did, when I met him, we started going to swap meets and stuff like that. And I'd find random shit, like they had skateboards, so I started painting on skateboard decks. They had, what are those things called?
Fender?
They had fenders for motorcycles, so I started doing that, so it's like, you don't have to always paint on, a canvas, or, you can find shit just randomly and just paint, which is good, because then you take something and, it's just a table, or it's, just a fender or whatever, and you make it into art.
Yeah, and it just goes to that next
and then
level.
And then it's personalized, it's unique. And then I think it carries a lot of just value, not money wise, but, it's just knowing that, someone took the time to actually, do that, I think is cool too, So I think art comes in all different forms, but...
And you're giving that piece a second life, right? Because you're
Exactly.
saying you're picking up something from a swap meet that
Right, exactly.
somebody may think okay, we're never going to sell this today.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
pick it up and,
Right. Yeah, we went to an antique store in Redondo Beach, and they had a mannequin leg. And I was like, that's fucking weird. Like, it's random, just this, mannequin leg. And so he's like, well, that'd be cool if you painted on it. And I'm like, shit, okay. So I took it home and painted on it and gave it to my mom.
It's like tattooing a mannequin.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So you find shit just kind of anywhere and you just paint it, So I think that's cool too, to just take something that, like you said, nobody would think, could become art and just make it art. I think that's cool.
Well, Drew was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
He was.
You were.
Yeah.
Because you were a graph artist, bro.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, I already forgot.
You were putting your art everywhere. And see, to touch on that, I've done this one time when I had my face. It's not easy writing on a wall.
Yeah.
It's a whole different vibe. So if you can be good on a
Yeah.
what would you call that? Like a wall being because you're not, when you're writing on a piece of paper and it's on a flat
It's like
surface.
a horizontal surface.
Yeah,
Yeah.
horizontal. When you go to vertical, right? It's not
Your
the
perspective
same
kind
at
of gets
all.
off a
No, it's
little
not the
bit.
same.
And the way you hold your hand and the way it's not the same at all. Because anybody could pick up a pencil and write on a piece of paper
Yeah.
and draw on a piece of paper. When you take that to a wall and you're oh shit.
Yeah.
Even when you write on a whiteboard.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely
Well,
different.
with a can, it's easier on a wall. I mean, a whiteboard, that shit's hard standing up. But it's different than paper, that's for sure. But on the wall and the can, you can, it's easier to make a circle and,
But did it take? but it took you a while to get that down, right?
Oh,
Where
years.
you're like, yeah,
years, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I was probably doing it 15 years or so.
Damn, really?
Until I kind of slowly came to a stop. I didn't mean to stop. It was kind of just like, damn, I haven't done that in a while. Maybe I should do it, and then not do it, and then a year goes by, 2 years go by, and it's like, damn, man, I haven't done stuff in a long time.
Did you ever do any pieces in Sunken?
Nothing crazy, simple stuff. That place gets covered quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll paint something today, it'll be gone tomorrow. I mean, I don't know about now, but back then it was kind of active. I don't know now.
Yeah, I haven't been there in fucking years.
Yeah, same here. Been there 100 times. Don't need to go back.
What would you say in your career as a graffiti artist? What would you say would be one of your most infamous spots that you hit in your career?
Spots.
Like what stood out to you where it's like, damn, I
You're
hit
like,
that
yeah,
spot.
I'm fucking tight.
I'm fucking tight.
Yeah, I
'Cause
went there.
in the graffiti world, you're not. I mean, it's half and half, right? Like you'll have
Yeah.
the people who love it, and you'll have the people who hate it.
Yeah.
And
You know what I
that's
mean?
very true.
You know what I mean? It's
And the
a
people that-
lucrative. It's a lucrative
And the
field.
people that hate it, you cannot convince them otherwise.
Oh no, yeah.
No chance. I've tried.
But where would you say if you could say?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Do you have like a favorite one?
There's got to be one that you've seen.
My favorite place, I didn't paint there a lot. It was down the street from my house. Is Angel's Gate.
Oh, the pool?
The bunkers. Well, the pool is cool too. You can't paint there now. But the bunkers. I don't know if you've been to the bunkers.
In the back. So when you're going up the gate, in the back?
Yeah, you go through the fence, go down all the stairs.
Okay.
That place is really cool. I painted the motor yard in West LA, I think it is, a few times. That's cool because, the history of it. I mean, people have been painting it forever. Mm-hmm. Now the train runs right there, so no more yard. But the Graph Lab was cool.
What was the Graph Lab?
What is it?
Yeah.
It's a parking lot, but on the weekends you could paint there.
Oh.
Yeah, we were there one day, and the gang, the local gang, whatever it was, came up to us. We all got taxed. Well, not we all. I was the only one that had any money, so I got taxed. Yeah.
They took the fall.
You're like, oh, he's got
the What was it? The Graph Lab, I think you had to pay. No, you don't have to pay. It's a recommended donation of, $5 a head, something like that. To keep it going.
Yeah.
And, none of us were working. We were young, so I had I think I had a 20 and like a 5 and some ones or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember the gang, but they went up to my friends because they were younger. They brought them to me like, hey man, we know you like peace and you're not about drama and shit. Like, talk to these guys for us. So they brought them to me, and I was like, thanks, dick, And they're like, hey man, it was stupid too because my car was there. We all got cameras, phones, the whole thing. And they're like, hey, we want your paint. And I'm like, well, we'll give you the leftovers. And then they left us alone. A few minutes later, they come back, hey man, we want the paint. And I'm just like, we're not done, So he ended up coming back again, and he was like, there was like 3 or 4 of them, and they're just like, hey man, we want $1 or $2 from everybody. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, that's weird because like we can't get away, and you only want $1 or $2. There was like 5 of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. You don't want the phone, the camera, car keys. I don't know. I thought that was very weird, Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, whatever. I looked at my wallet and I was like, hey, shit, I got like $7. Is that cool? He goes, yeah, it's cool. And then they left. I was like, what the fuck? That's it, But
So they worked you for $7?
yeah. And
That's all they
I
wanted.
just thought that was weird. Like, I mean, you were in your territory, your backup's down the street, and you want $7. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth the trouble.
I mean, maybe he was the reason. They were a reasonable gang,
They understand not everybody's got a lot of money.
$7.
Recession, things like that.
To add to that, right after that happened, a flood of people walked in. There was I think it was called the LA Gang Tours they were doing for a little while. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that.
LA Gang Tours? That's a thing?
They had people get on a bus, sign a waiver, like, hey, in case you die, it's not our fault. And then they would...
I think I remember.
Yeah, I think they probably did it once. But, they would take people to different neighborhoods and have, ex-gang members on the bus to explain shit, whatever, I don't know. And so a flood of people come in, so the dudes that I just paid, they left. And I was like, where were you guys fucking 5 minutes ago,
Sure.
So anyways, this flood of people come in, this dude's talking to me, oh, I like what you're doing, this and that. Me and him took a picture in front of my piece. Mm-hmm. And I thought he was bullshitting me, and he's just like, yeah, man, my name is Ricky Ross. I'm going to put this picture on my website, this and that. I'm like, all right, whoever you are, And he goes, yeah, the rapper Rick Ross? Well, he came to me in jail and asked if he could use my name as his rap name and all this. And I'm like, okay, whoever you are,
No, it was actually Freeway Rick Ross. So,
yeah.
okay.
He walked away, and my buddy was like, do you know who that is? I'm like, I don't know, some guy that thinks he's Rick Ross, And then he broke it down. I was like, oh, damn, that was kind of cool. I wish I would have known that, but...
Well, he was telling you. You just didn't.
I never
We just got one for $7.
I guess he had...
Fuck you, Rick Ross.
I guess he had just got out of prison a couple months before that or something like that. I was like, oh, didn't even know. Checked his website, never saw the pictures, so... It's just a story. There's no proof.
Nah, man.
That's still cool.
See what I mean, bro?
I don't
know. It has been.
That was a long time ago.
You met Ricky Ross, bro.
Like the real one,
The real
like,
Rick.
The real Rick, yeah.
It's like I have to tell this story. Like one of my best stories ever was me, my roommate, and my sister were at the XFL game. Remember the XFL when they were bringing that back? So we went to the first game there, and we're chilling this and that. And then like the next row over was two guys, and then I was like, "Fuck, they look familiar." I'm like, "Oh shit!" And then my sister's like, "Oh, do you know who they are?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's fucking Bill Burr and Bert Kreischer, the comedians, right?"
Yeah.
So and then she's like, "Oh, like we should ask for a picture." And I'm like, "Nah, they're enjoying the game.
Just leave them alone.
It's cool. Game's going on, this and that." And then I'm over here fucking shouting shit. And then I yell out, "Is anyone gonna fucking score?" Like all loud.
Yeah.
And then fucking Bill Burr looks at me and he starts laughing. And then I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" And then Kreischer was like, what happened? And then Bill Burr was like, oh, he told, and then he yelled, it's like, anyone gonna fucking score? And then Bert was like, ha ha ha. Like, I was like, yeah.
You're like, I make
that's my
comedians
best
laugh.
accomplishment ever, you know? Because like they're huge, you know, they're huge fucking comedians and shit. But yeah, I always tell
That's
that
a cool
story.
I made comedians laugh.
No proof.
Yeah.
No proof.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
she was
still a
there.
story.
She was
Oh,
there.
okay, well,
I believe
she's
it.
your
She saw it. She saw it. So
You have a witness to your
Yeah.
story.
she could be lying too, I guess. You know?
Yeah, it's funny when I feel like, you know, when you meet celebrities or you see celebrities out in public, it's like, I remember I saw Vin Diesel, not Vin Diesel, Jean-Claude Van Damme
Oh, hell yeah.
at the movies. This motherfucker is short.
Yeah.
He is little guy. He's the karate guy. He was in a lot of karate movies.
Kickboxer.
Yeah.
Bloodsport.
He's from somewhere. He's got an accent. Where's he from?
He's French, I think.
Oh,
Is he
okay.
French? Oh,
Yeah, I just
something like
remember
that.
he had an accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bloodsport?
Or
Never
has an
seen the
accent.
film.
What? Never
Yeah.
seen Bloodsport? Fucking classic, dude.
Yeah, like that
That-
famous
is that a
commercial.
movie?
Yeah, he did the commercial
Yes.
with the Volvos where he's like doing a split on 2 semis.
Yeah, he was like really
Yeah.
popular for doing splits and shit.
Yeah,
in
I'll
movies.
see if I can like post a video on
I'm,
it.
I'm with you on this one. I don't know.
So sick.
Splits on semi.
Yeah, that's what he was known, like
Yeah.
being more like how do you say it?
Like
They weren't
Aeroba-
showing that
aerobatics
commercial
or-
on Versus Country, bro.
No, they weren't. But he was in fucking Expendables, man. He's like one of the.
Yeah.
He was, it was him, fucking Steven Seagal, Chuck.
I never seen that one either, bro.
You don't know who Steven Seagal is?
I know Steven Seagal,
that. The
bro.
Expendables is like a recenter movie where they're all like older,
Yeah, they're
right?
all older.
Yeah.
And that's where he was
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
bad
yeah.
guy or whatever.
It was like 2 a.m. one day at Kaiser, and is the Expendables the movie where this is the only part I think I've seen in the movie where a homeboy's on the chair, they're freehanding I think some lettering or the Virgin Mary on the back of one of the dude's backs. And then he sits down, and it's like halfway done, and then he sits up, and it's done.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah,
first movie
I think
where
so. Yeah, that's
Sylvester
what's
Stallone getting
Sylvester
tatted.
Stallone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like I just thought, okay, so he's sitting down, they're
Yeah.
talking for like 5 minutes, and then he gets up, and it's done. I'm like,
Back piece
Wow.
done.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
No,
dog.
no stencil, just
Just freehand.
just freehand. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and then he gets on his bike and he takes off. Right?
Yeah,
Shit
no
like that.
wrapper or anything. You're just
Yeah.
gonna let it air.
Yeah.
That's
there
the
you
real
go.
man right there, dog.
That's right. Don't need nothing. Yeah, the other person I saw, he was at the airport, was who's the wrestler that does this thing?
Oh, John
John
Cena?
Cena?
John
He's
Cena.
one of my heroes.
He was little too. He's a short guy. He's shorter than me. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I didn't go up to him and meet him or anything like that, but you know, it's cool to see, you know, celebrities, you know, because you go, oh shit, I know
Celebrities in the wild.
that guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, there's that. Remember that one Welvin guy? The These Nuts? Remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him
Oh.
a couple times.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I used to go to the strip club I used to go to.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and all the girls hated him because he would never pay. Like, you know.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, he would never pay. He would just be there, and then like people would take photos with him, and shit. And he's like, "Oh, he's taking all the attention away." And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." And then I seen him in Vegas as well. There was that, and then he was like asking for like $2 or something like that.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yes. So that's pretty funny too.
What was he asking for money for?
Just cause. Just cause.
Oh,
like
shit.
if he would take photos, he'd ask for money too.
Oh, I see,
Shit
I see, I
that.
see.
So
I see.
I was like, I guess you didn't make money off of your.
He's a viral guy, bro.
Yeah.
He's not just, you know.
Yeah.
My only celebrity in the wild, I think, was like Wee Man at Turner's.
Oh, dude, yeah.
He's a big gun guy.
I met
Little
Wee.
gun guy.
Yeah, little gun guy.
I guess.
I met Wee Man when I used to work at Vaughn's right out of high school when I was going to college in Hermosa. And he came in and he, really nice guy. He asked me for fucking where the chips were. So I'm like, well, fuck, I'm not going to tell Wee Man, you know, I'm going to show Wee Man where the fucking chips are. And so he was a really nice guy and he was with this chick and she was just fucking out here. And I'm like,
Wee Man.
you fucking go. But nicest guy, like super, because he used to have Chronic Tacos
Yeah.
right
something
there
Like that.
in was that Redondo?
Yeah, I think they franchised out because I think it was always Wee Man's Chronic Tacos,
Yeah, I
and
saw
then they
that.
started opening them up, and they were just Chronic Tacos.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's the only one I ever knew of was that Wee Man's Chronic Tacos.
Never ate there.
we didn't have money.
Yeah, I
we
never
didn't
ate
have
that.
money at that point.
Yeah,
to where we
no.
could go to Wee Man's Chronic
Yeah.
Tacos. I heard about people going, and then no. And then once I got a little bit of money, then we did.
Yeah, and then you
Yeah.
didn't go
I
to
just,
that.
fucking,
You're like,
I'm
nah, I
over
can
it.
go.
Those
I-
were like my idols in like middle school. Like these dudes are cool. But
Yeah.
Then you grew up.
yeah. It's not the same.
Got a little older.
You want to ask something, Jose? What do you got?
What do I got, actually? It's a good question.
Let's pull up an article. We got the little insight. Vanessa, you have we don't have the computer
We
today.
don't have
huh?
the computer today. I didn't bring
Damn.
it out.
All right, we'll do it off the cuff. Arts in the school.
Yeah.
This is a topic that we wanted to bring up. So, just off of like me and my time that I went to school, because we're all kind of different ages when we were in grade school. We had art maybe once a month, and it was never consistent.
Yeah.
And then by the time I got to high school, I think you had to take some type of an art class.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was a little different because I had some pull, so I took advanced band. But yeah,
But you weren't advancing it,
and
though.
that was
Yeah.
considered an art. Yeah, no, played the bass drum.
Yeah, and I think that's, I'm going to be 38, so I graduated high school in 2003. And so I went to Narbonne, and, we actually had art classes every year, which was great. But, after I graduated, you started to hear them taking art classes out of the schools. The funding, we don't have the funding to support art, to support band, and so they slowly started taking it out. And then now you hear, like, some of my friends, their kids are in public schools. Even my son, who's in a private school, they don't have art classes, and so I think that's really kind of sad for me, because art was always an outlet for me, as a kid, a loner kid who didn't really have friends and shit like that, I always hung out in my art teacher's classroom, so it's like, so all those kids who need some type of outlet, where the fuck they going now, and it's like, and you hear about, them just, we don't have the money to pay an art teacher, and we don't have the money to, pay for supplies and shit like that. But it's like, well, people will donate. You can go to places and people will donate. You can hit up some art stores, and I'm sure they would, have like a fundraiser, like, hey, bring in your old brushes and we'll clean them and give them to the schools,
to the kids so they can use.
And so that, and like I said, my son goes to a private school, I pay tuition for him to go to a good school, but they don't have an art class, and the only art programs they have are volunteered by the parents, which is still good because they're getting some kind of exposure, but still you're limited. They do that once, maybe twice a month, so that's really sad, because kids nowadays, especially now with COVID and all this stuff you're hearing in the news, unfortunately, about all these school shootings and shit like that, it's like kids need somewhere to go. They need somewhere to go where they can kind of just focus on something that's positive, that makes them happy. So all this bullshit about, we don't have the funding for it.
That's like I said, that's something I
I
can touch on, because it's like, you don't have the funding for that, but you have the funding to pay the superintendent $500,000,
Exactly.
type of deal. And that's the sad part about it, because like even teachers are underpaid, but then also it's like the way they're handling the school system now, I don't like it,
Right.
because
I
they're
agree.
teaching a lot of things that they're not supposed to teach, and they're steering away from academics. Now, art is, and electives and things like that, that's cool, but then that should be backpacked off of the cores,
Right.
English,
Exactly.
math, social studies, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it seems like, and then now they're just coming up with new things, like in high school, like, you don't have to be proficient in math to graduate. Wait, what?
Oh,
Like,
bro.
what kind of shit is
I'll touch on that. I'll touch on that, dude. Before, when I went to school, there was an allotted amount of credits that you needed to get out of high school. Okay? If you show up every day, which I granted wasn't exactly on par with that, but if you have common sense, and I know people out there struggle, but if you don't have the common sense, and maybe you need to show up every day,
Yeah.
you will graduate high school. Okay? The Casey, when they got rid of that, I felt like, here's the thing with that. All right? Take it what you will. When I took the apprenticeship class, that was the Casey.
Yeah.
you needed to at least know the basics of how to, because you're
Fractions,
wrenching, you know,
things like that,
fractions
yeah.
on wrenches, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you kind of need to know that. You know what I mean? Like, that's the bare minimum. And because, you know, we get money for, you know, advancing these kids to the next, it looks bad if we don't get, you know, these kids to graduate, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Then I seen it because I was, you know, I when I was an apprentice and stuff, I was very influential in going back to my math teacher who helped me out. Because I was not the best guy at math. I'm not even going to...
Math sucks.
Yeah. So it's like I had to... And me, I took the Casey in, what was that, 11th grade. And then, you know, hey, whoa, cool. Just like the boiler license. All right, cool. I don't need to, you know, brush up on it. Yeah. When I went to go take the apprenticeship test, I was like, oh, shit, I'm looking at this math. I'm like, damn. Like, this is all the stuff that I, like, kind of just learned. I went back to my math teacher and said, hey, I need a refresher on this stuff. Can you just, like, and, you know, it came back, and I was able to score high enough to pass my test and whatnot, but it's just, like, I seen they got rid of that. They lowered the amount of credits you need to graduate. They did all this stuff. It's like, yeah, I get it, but, like, shouldn't you guys be focusing on, all right, if these kids are not to par, then okay, maybe we need more help. You know, not brushing them off to an iPad, because that's what it is now, this Common Core shit, where it's like the teacher's not teaching. It's like, and I talked to my math teacher, she's like, it's crazy, because it's like all the lessons are on Common Core. I can't give them the, like, the SOHCAHTOA and all these, like, acronyms and how they used to teach the shit. It's like, you can do a little bit of that, but they want you to stick to this Common Core format that's on an iPad. And it's just kind of bullshit because, you know, I didn't think it was hard to get out of high school. It was kind of just, like I said, as long as you showed up, and if you didn't show up, as long as you had a little bit of common sense, you were going to be all right. Maybe you weren't going to walk the stage, but you were going to get that diploma at the end of the day.
Do that summer fucking course so that way you can graduate.
Exactly.
Freaking, but, like, because my mom was always on me about that shit, you know what I mean? And I middle school, you know, everybody goes through their shit and kind of start fucking up. And
it's
I
normal.
think that's normal. Yeah, exactly.
But and then, like you said, like with the art stuff, they're getting rid of art. They're getting rid of electives. Like, I was lucky enough to go to a high school where they still had, like, automotive shop, wood shop, metal shop, all you know, ceramics, all that stuff. And that's cool stuff to learn, you know. And nowadays they're getting rid of all that stuff. Granted, maybe they don't have teachers or funding or whatever. But then that's, you know, at the end of the day, that's bullshit. It's like ever since, you know, early 80s, my father always told me, he's like, yeah, they're raising the taxes for schools. Funding for schools. So every year, they always say they don't have funding, but yet we still pay this tax. Every year. They still add on to that tax. Oh, we're going to tax this, we're going to tax that, so that way we have more funding for the schools. But at the end of the day, it's just the people up on top are getting the majority of the money, and then the ones that suffer are the ones on the bottom, which are the teachers and the kids.
Yep, exactly.
And the employees, I guess, are there as well, you know?
Well, and the thing is, too, is, like, you see, you know, them pulling funding from, you know, art classes and, you know, electives, band, you know, what have you. But the sports teams are flourishing. You know, they're getting new jerseys. Yeah. They're getting... Now, granted, some of that shit might be bought by the parents. I don't know. But, you know, even when I was going to Narbonne, you know, the focus was on the girls' basketball team. You know, they were shipping people in to play on the girls' basketball team. You know, so it's like... You know, and I know that... You know, that costs money from somewhere.
Yeah, and then that's kind of a business too, in a sense, because if that brings them, like, I don't know, ticket sales or whatever, you know, you kind of get it, you know.
Yeah,
and obviously,
and we all know where that's going, because they ain't pushing trades in the public school system in the high school. No, they want to force you to go to a 4-year university.
Yeah, well, you know why? Because it looks good on their end. You know, so and so got to UCLA, so and so got to, you know, this and that, so it looks good on their end.
So this top freaking, you know, baller is gonna go play for 2 years, blow out their fucking MCL, and be working at Starbucks. When I went and did my route, got out in 4 years, I was making $100,000. That's a big fuck you to the fucking people who told me I would be working at McDonald's if I go down that route. You know what I mean? It's it's just so stupid the way they do this. It's like, oh, that's not how you're gonna be able to survive. I don't know how you're gonna do it. Well, I don't know about you, lady, but I'm making more money than you now, so you can go kiss my fucking ass. That's the way. Right. And I told that counselor, she didn't know what the fuck to say. She was just like, oh, really? Yeah. And you're the one who told me I was going to work at McDonald's. No, that wasn't me. I was like, yes, it was you.
Yeah, because that shit's imprinted in my head.
I remember that shit. And my mom had to go down there. Oh, he needs to be in all these A through E requirement classes so that he could qualify. well, he doesn't want to go. He keeps telling me he doesn't want to go. He knows what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
Well, no, you can't rely on that. He's a child. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not gonna. Are you gonna pay for him to go?
Right.
They have grants. Yeah, well, if he's telling me right now he doesn't want to go, I'm not relying on this clown to try to get a grant because I don't think it's gonna happen.
But sometimes it's not even their fault. They're so into the academia system that that's what they excelled in. That's what they did. So then they assume that's the route to go.
Right.
Sometimes it's not their fault neither. They don't know about trades. They don't know. They just know about college and then I don't know, you getting your fucking bachelor's in Chicano studies like she did, and now she can't use it.
Yeah, it's not even called Chicano studies.
Oh yeah,
Chicanx. So I don't even have. You're
Latinx,
gonna have to go talk to the.
I don't know what you like to go by now
Talk
or
to the
whatever.
fucking
She
people who
changes
gave
it
you
all the
that.
time.
It's just crazy. It's very sad to see that for me, because like I said, I think art is such an, especially for me, and I know for a lot of people, it's an outlet, and so it's like, I just feel bad for the kids who, they don't have the money their parents don't have the money because they're making ends meet, to put food on the table and everything. So it's like, these kids go to school and it's like, they rely on the school supplying, the art stuff or, whatever. So it's like, and now that they're pulling that, it's like, well, where do the kids, even if they don't get into art or any kind of extracurricular activity, it's like, where do they get that exposure? You never know. A kid could get into art and be, like a what's that guy's name, Mr. Cartoon, or a big tattoo artist or something. I mean, who could make a big impact on his community, his or her community, and you just don't know.
But doesn't have the tools.
The tools to start somewhere.
And it all circles back to this: you plant that seed in that child's mind, and now they're gonna say, "Oh, this is how this works. You can go on your phone now. Oh, that's how much paint costs. Oh, this is what this." So now they're like, all right, I gotta flip this light switch to try to grind as hard as I can to be able to afford that paint, to be able to afford those brushes, to be able to, like, if you would have had auto body opened up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, this is badass. Like we can like restore this old truck. And I remember they used to do that at Banning, and then it got kind of like they got rid of it and whatnot. But it's kind of just dumb the way that they do it. Can we pause right now? Because my fucking phone's going off.
Yeah, that's why I told you to fucking put it away, but you never
put it
listened
away.
to
It's
me.
on this box. It's your freaking boy.
Who?
Tony.
I already talked to him. He's already set. We're good, dog. I fucking handle this shit, man.
Where do I put it? It's gonna...
Give it to Vanessa. And we're not.
Yeah, I was
editing
tripping.
this
I
out,
was like,
honestly.
what the fuck is that?
We're editing that out.
Like, damn,
Like,
is
what
someone
the fuck is
bumping
that? I know. I was like, what the fuck is that? I'm tripping.
Don't put it on the table. Well, I put it over there, and look, same thing happens.
Hey, you can just fucking silence it. It's
Nah.
one button, dude. Swipe down, push. That's it.
Well, it still vibrates. Silencing it is not gonna do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
but
put it
you-
on the do not
silent.
disturb or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Or airplane mode, honestly.
Run it back.
You make things so difficult.
You guys
dog.
just torment me.
You
You
love
torment
to
me.
suffer.
You
That's
see?
what it is.
And I knew he wants to keep this in because he just loves the fucking. He loves it, bro. He thrives on
Oh,
it. You
he's
see,
on
he
that
was
shit.
kind of sinking down in the chair, and then he's like,
Which is what I do. I love to shit on James, man. Just
But no,
it makes me feel good.
But the thing is, like we're talking about it. If you would have those outlets, if you would have an auto body shop, somebody could plant that seed to be like, okay, I want to own a classic car. I want to do a restoration on a car. Or maybe, hey, this is what I really want to do. I really want to wrench. I really want to go to automotive school at LA Trade Tech. You know what I mean? And it's a fraction of the cost of going and I don't want to say wasting your time because of people who went to college.
Yeah.
So
Be careful.
for you, whatever works for you, because that's what worked for me. I knew right off the bat. And hey, I know I just kind of went out on a tangent. He can vouch for this. We worked our fucking asses off to get to where we were at. It did not come. We did the shit minimum wage hotel jobs that just did. You
took
start
pay
from
cuts,
the bottom, bro.
I had to volunteer. He had to volunteer.
Yeah.
It's just shit that nowadays it's funny because like people will ask, oh, like how do you get in? How do you how do you do that? Well, it's like, okay, well you got to do this, you got to do that, and then maybe you can get in, and then maybe you're gonna have to make like I don't know, like $22 an hour or something like that,
Yeah.
starting off. Oh, that's already less than what I make. Well, then you don't want to succeed, you know?
Right. Yeah.
It's just
'Cause
like with
then-
You
art
gotta-
or whatever, you're going to fucking do it for free for a while.
Right.
You know? Or you're going to pay someone to fucking
Yep.
take it or to post it
Exactly.
somewhere or something.
Yep.
And nowadays, people don't want to, I guess, take 2 steps back so that way you can take 4 forward, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of it has to do with, and I say this all the time, social media is the good and the bad thing, because you know, you can get exposed to a lot of things and grow interest in it, but then also sometimes people can take a step back and just focus on that and then look at other people's lives and either live through it or fucking, you know, shit on it.
Yeah. Well, and I think, yeah, like you said, it's like with anything, you know. That's like for me, when I do a piece for someone, I don't charge them for it. You know, it's because for me, it's putting your name out there. You know, I don't charge anybody for it, you know, because I don't feel like I'm at that point where I can be like, all right, I'm going to do this for you. $200,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, and plus I like to do it. And most of the people I give it to are, you know, friends, you know, family. So it's like, I like to do it, you know? So I know they're going to appreciate it. So I never charged anybody for it, you know? And, but like you said, you got to start somewhere, you know? So am I making money from it? No, you know, but I do it because I like it. And then, you know, someone else appreciates it, you know? So I think that's a good point to make is
Yeah, and
sometimes
then-
you got to take those few steps backwards,
Yeah.
you know? And, you know, it helps propel you forward, you know?
Yeah, and then it teaches you lessons or something like that. Like, say, for instance, you have someone asking for stuff like art or whatever, right? And then you learn, like, to who to cater to and
Right.
who not to. Oh, this guy he keeps asking for shit, but he doesn't, like, value my time.
Right,
So then
exactly.
I'll stop fucking with them.
Yeah.
You know, and then this person, they ask for stuff, I give it to them, but they still, like, oh, no, they give me X amount of money.
Right.
Okay, yeah, that kind of motivates me to,
Yeah.
you know, keep doing it, and then I can still, you know,
Yeah.
cater to them.
Right.
But nowadays, you know, people...
Well, and like, you know, people sell a lot of stuff on Etsy.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big outlet too. You know, people, you know, go on there and just, what's
But
the fun?
Etsy's
Oh
kind of
no,
weird, though,
Etsy,
right?
Etsy was funny because there was a guy. Were you there? I don't think you were there. So at Kaiser, there's this guy. He retired,
Okay.
and this dude, like, I've heard so many stories about him.
he sell, like,
he
random
owns
shit on
like
Etsy?
property, but no. He was like going off, because I guess he goes to downtown LA, buys jewelry, silver jewelry,
Okay.
and then he
that
sells
shit
it on Etsy.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah, my Etsy store is just doing business, and then I guess there was like a hiccup where they like wanted to verify him or something, and he's like, so they cut his store, and he was pissed. He's like, I've been selling with Etsy for so many years, and now you want to verify me? Like now, I'm the best thing that ever happened to Etsy. I'm like,
I was like, don't worry, dog.
are
They're
you?
gonna still be
You're
around.
like, who are you again?
that many people are buying silver jewelry
Yeah,
on
exactly.
Etsy, bro? Come on, guys.
Well, I mean, you can go on Etsy and literally find anything. Like
Mm-hmm.
this whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard shit. I'm sure you guys have heard about it,
Yeah.
if not watched the whole thing like crazy, like I did. And there was a thing where he talks about a mega pint. You know, where her attorney, yeah, did you hear that shit?
Yeah,
where
yeah.
he's like, oh, you poured yourself a mega pint. And Johnny Depp was like, what the fuck's a mega pint? So now you can go on Etsy and literally buy cups and shit that say mega pint on it.
Yeah.
So it's like Etsy just explodes for, you know, and they're small businesses, you know, they're people like me, people like you guys who just, you know, that's their hobby, you know, they go on there and they sell shit. No, I mean, I think it's kind of fucked up that that guy's just, you know, you know.
He's an interesting individual.
you know?
I was actually gonna ask her to commission us a small piece. I want a piece
yeah.
of Amber.
Turd.
Yeah, shitting on the bed.
Oh, okay.
dude,
When
I'm
like
down.
Johnny walking in, like
I'm
just
down.
like in his
Yo.
pirate gear or some
I am
shit.
so down. Dude, I am so down. Like that whole thing.
For the table.
Right. And to go out on a tangent, because I kind of do this sometimes.
That's all good.
But like, you know, I've witnessed domestic abuse throughout my life, you know, not me directly, but other people, you know, friends, you know, family, you know, I've seen domestic violence. I know what that looks like. And for me, I'm not saying that she was not a victim of domestic violence, but I feel like true people who were victims of domestic violence, she was not speaking for them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what bothers me because there are so many women out there and men who would love to have that forum to speak their voice and have their story told to other women and men of domestic violence. And I feel like she literally took a shit on those people who would love to have that platform that she did to speak out against domestic violence. You know?
That was just Hollywood. Is what that was. It was a shit show.
Yeah, it really was. Literally a shit show. You know,
like picking sides and all that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like that's why it's like, all right, I get it, but like, do you know, like these are like real accusations over here. You're trying
that's
to
what
like,
I'm saying.
we're trying to bring that to a serious.
That's
like
the problem, you know, like something like that, like because of what she said in that article that went out. He lost his gig with fucking Pirates, and he lost his gig with that fucking Harry Potter movies
Fantastic
that are coming.
Beasts,
yeah, you know, he missed out on hundreds of millions of dollars possibly. You know, and that's why he was suing because of the defamation suit. Yeah. And it's scary because that's the guy in that position. So say for instance, like with me, or for an example, if any girl can go and just say, "Oh, he did this," and there's no absolute truth or proof or whatever, and not to shit on it, like, you know, the whole let's believe all women. I get it, you know, but still, that's still bullshit.
Exactly.
You know, we still have a justice system for a reason. You know, you got to find someone.
I
but
agree.
the problem is like, say for instance, like Johnny Depp, he's a big enough star, but say like the lower guys that were getting accused of like, you know, sexual misconduct and things like that. When you Google their names, first thing that pops up
is sexual misconduct.
even though they didn't do it, but
Right.
that's what pops up.
That's just what's associated to their name
it
forever.
puts a real on their livelihood. You know what I mean? And they're
that's the thing. Before we even know the facts, we already assume that they're guilty. But that's human nature. You know what I mean? Oh, if accusations come up, we're like, oh yeah, you probably did do it. You know?
Right. Well, and that's what he said. You know, during the whole shit is he was saying like, you know, Disney dropped me and they didn't even hear my side. They just boom, you know, because, and I get it, you know, Disney's a business.
Don't want that. They don't want that.
Exactly. They don't want that shit tied to Disney with kids. I totally get it, you know, and I'm sure he does too. But to an extent, I mean, he was the reason for the Pirates movies.
I was there the other night, man, and there's a big thing like the Pirates ride is closed down. So are they getting rid of it?
Shit. That's what I thought.
Well, no, they got rid of the Pirates ride because, you know, that scene in that. I have been there since I was like fucking 8.
No, that's already done, bro. That they got rid of that scene already.
Yeah, right.
But now it's closed down again for refurbishment. So I wonder if they're gonna pull his ass out.
That's what I thought.
Because they got him in on that ride twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they have him like when you go up at the end of the ride, you go up. He's sitting right off on the side there.
Yeah. They might put him back on, actually, maybe.
I don't know.
I read somewhere that they want him back.
Are they gonna buff over his picture? There's a painting there too. Like this is all. There's so many ways this can go.
Yeah. And then people were saying like, I'm not gonna see Pirates, you know, if he's not in it and stuff like that. And it's like, I watched those movies because he was in it, you know, and so it's like it's gonna be interesting to see.
I don't know. I rewatched them all. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I never really got into it.
They're
the second one.
Some people like them. They're just very dark rides, like dark movies. Like you can't. I mean, like not even like just like morbid or anything, but like the fucking picture. Like you have to watch that like shit at night because I'm over here struggling. Like I have the curtains closed. I'm like, shit, man, what's going on?
Like are they at the fucking sea or what the fuck?
Like,
yeah, I know. Yeah, that those movies are crazy. But I mean, that whole thing with her, and you know, it's sad for her to an extent because I don't think she realized what the fuck she was doing. You know, like you're making all these accusations, like she's like legit. Like, how are you gonna get a job? How are you gonna, you know? Because it's like nobody's gonna want to be tied to her name.
Well, yeah,
you know?
There's already, you know, they cut her out from was that Aquaman 2 and whatever. But I mean, I've been reading that supposedly there's like stories of her like just being a handful always.
Yeah, it didn't look good both ways, and then it just like, I mean, she's goated for sure because just for the freaking simple fact that like if you've seen like, bro, she was on payroll by the Tesla guy. She was on payroll for the Tesla guy. Yep. She shat on somebody's bed. Like, come on,
they were doing threesomes with so and so.
Just come on, guy.
Yeah. Hey, but like we said last time, like to quote, you know, the infamous guy that we all know, he said, "You know what? You know, I don't give a fuck. She can shit on my bed any day." He's like, with that face, she can do whatever she wants.
Well, see, the thing is, she's cute, you know. So it's like, you know,
not my style, but I'm
not into scat or anything, you know. But
yeah, that.
Will I think about it? Maybe. Will I do it? No.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how you can, like, you got to be on some shit to just literally shit in someone's bed, you know?
That's your own bed.
Well, yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, maybe they got big ass houses. They probably got different beds and shit. But like, damn, like you were sleeping there too, and you just disrespected your shit like that, bro.
And just imagine his face, like just opening the door, walking in, and realizing that someone shit in your bed, and like, what do you say? You know, you just.
Like, it's already surprising enough when you see human shit, you know, like on the streets. Like,
exactly.
you know, you see it like, damn, that's like literal human shit.
Yeah.
Imagine walking into your room and seeing that.
That's a sane person, well, supposedly, who did that. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, you know, you're on the streets, you got no choice. But like,
You're
this
just
is like,
oh, someone took a
you're
shit.
just, I'm gonna do this to like, that's just disrespectful. There's so many questions.
Yeah.
But I mean,
what kind of
it's just dumb because like, it even found myself like making a joke like, oh yeah, I'm team her, man, because she's just on another level. But it's like, it's stupid because it's a very real it's a very real situation, you know what I mean?
It's a really bad thing to
you
say
know what I mean? Like, I'll never
it's
like,
that, like accusing someone of like sexual assault or sexual abuse, and that claiming or saying someone's racist.
Yeah,
that's probably one of the, you know, they're right there, the worst things that you can say, especially nowadays, you know.
Yeah. Because people are quick, you know.
Well, not even nowadays. Just the way
like
that I'm sure you were raised and the way I was raised. You don't do that shit, bro.
Yeah.
You don't do that shit.
Yeah.
And I can't tell the story, but like, you know, there's some shit that, you know, when I've heard accusations like that, and you know, you go talk to people who, you know, I don't want to touch too much on that, but it's just like, you don't do that, bro. That's like the fucking, that's like in a whole nother dark place, bro, where you just there's no, man. And then it's like, then you got like the media portraying it as, oh, it's a joke, it's what team are you on. And it's not a joke, you know. I mean, and I found myself, you know, like I said, just joking about it, but it's like, the end of the day, like, dude, it's a real fucking thing that you guys are like portraying this as like, oh, we're trying to choose a team. Like, dude, no, this shit should have never hit this. You guys should have maybe not televised this as much.
Honestly,
because,
that's very true as well. But since because it's such prolific characters and this and that, you almost feel like they feel like they have to do it. But then there's like other, like, you know, important stuff that goes on, and that's not televised. Right. Like the whole Epstein shit, you know, with the Ghislaine Maxwell. They had court. None of that was public record. Yeah. Right. You know? So it's like, but yet we know everything about fucking Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and all their sexual endeavors, you know? It's like,
well, and that's what I was telling Andrew. I said, you know, it's just, you know, we're not, you know, celebrities or anything like that, but it's like, just to know that all your shit's out there, like private details of your life, are just broadcasted to millions of people who are literally watching it on their phones at work or whatever. It's just like, fuck,
but that's what, unfortunately, but that's what you sign up for.
Those high and that's why, exactly, that's what you sign up for, and that's why you see both of them not even batting an eye. Like, that's what happened. Like, you just because they're already used to it. They're already used to being. It's like, oh,
it's like, remember when the fappening happened? When all the naked like the leaked naked photos of all the celebrities went out, and it was like, it was like hundreds of celebrities. I was on it. So you're like, who's on here? Did you hear it? I'm like, I'm like, oh, I got you, dog. Like, I'll send it to you right now. But it's like shit like that, you know. It sucks, you know, because it's everyone's seen it or everyone knows about it. But at the end of the day, it's what they sign up for, and then also don't keep naked pictures of yourself. Right, exactly. On your iCloud or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll get hacked.
Yeah. But that's like, and to your point though, I think that, you know, in a sense, I feel like they did kind of make a mockery of the whole thing, you know, and to an extent, because, you know, real victims of domestic violence, you know, they're not in a position where they're like choosing sides, you know, they're a legit victim. They're traumatized for the rest of their lives to carry this, you know, these memories and everything. And so for her, Amber Heard, I feel like it's, you know, I feel like she kind of made a mockery of the. Yeah,
I mean, it's like anything, it's a good and a bad thing. It might, you know, help some people. It might not.
I
might
agree.
Give it a bad light, or however the saying is. But
but to that Epstein shit. Did you watch that documentary on Netflix?
No, I have my black belt on that, and
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Like the amount of people they say were on his flight logs. Like they have Chris Tucker. We were talking about this the other day because we were watching Rush Hour 2. They have Chris Tucker. They had Michael, not Anthony Kiedis from the Red Hot Chili
Oh,
Peppers.
shit.
He's on there as well. But it goes back, this whole Hollywood shit. I tell people, you have people that have an abundance of money, and they can have anything they want.
Yeah.
So then where do they go from there?
Right.
You know, and that's why a lot of these people are attracted to that.
Yeah.
You know, you have Jimmy Page. There's stories of him, the guitarist from Led Zeppelin, that he was involved with 14-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have what's that guy? The director from The Pianist. Remember I talked to you about him?
No, I don't know his name.
Gosh, what's his name? He's. Can you look up his name, Vanessa? Director of The Pianist. So Roman Polanski. Yeah, Roman Polanski. So the funny story about that is that this guy did The Pianist, right?
Yeah.
It won all the awards.
Which
that
is a
year.
great movie.
Good movie.
Yeah.
Shitty fucking director guy.
Well, yeah, of course.
You know. So he won fucking best director for that fucking movie that year.
Yeah.
He was already that story was already known. He's in fucking France because he can't come here.
Because he can't come back.
Yeah. So he wins the fucking Oscar, and then everyone stands up, giving him a fucking
Knowing that he did-
that was already there. But that's like I tell people, that's the fucking facade of Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
They'll do that type of shit.
Yeah.
And the funny story that situation happened at fucking Jack Nicholson's house. So it's all weird how like they're all tied in. So
Yeah,
not to get on-
that's another thing is like just Hollywood itself and just kind of there's a bunch of shit that they cover up and everything in there because it's money. It's like when you get to that level and you have that much money, it's like
Well, what do you do now?
What do you do now?
That's the thing. That's why I tell people I don't have money. I never will have money.
Yeah.
Money changes you for sure.
100%. What else we got? You got anything, Vanessa? Okay. All right. Thank you for not contributing, like always.
Let's go back to the art real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
'cause we did go
So
on a
circle
little
back.
tangent.
Circle back. What would you say your style is? Because it looks like it's a cartoonism. I'm going off of like the tattoo styles. It looks
Or
kind
new
of like
school.
I would say if
Oh,
I
yeah.
had to put it in a box, I would say new school probably. I like painting women. So a lot of my art, I mean, of course, this isn't all of it, but a lot of my art, I feel like women in general are, they're easy to portray, to paint because, women are beautiful, they have the curves, they have, so I think not to say that men aren't attractive either. I feel like, I feel like new school if I had to put it in a. The other thing that I started doing too is there's this app, a lot of artists use it. It's called Procreate. It's on your iPad. And so I started doing that maybe about a year or two ago. And that's really nice because you can literally take it anywhere with you, So it's like, I could be at work on my lunch break or I could be, just waiting for my son to get a piano, it's, so that's nice too. So I've been doing that quite a bit. But kind of the same kind of style.
I hate you so much. It's not that one. It's this one. Yeah. Oh no, sorry, this one.
Can you tell their brother and sister?
Just a little bit.
Leave that in. Leave that in.
I'll say it all.
There's some real animosity over there. Years of
You gotta-
torment.
yeah, you gotta do it. But yeah, like the whole iPad stuff, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
because
I think it's cool.
It's just all like readily available, and
Yeah.
because I have an iPad and I have the Procreate and
Yeah.
all that stuff. I'm not good at it, but I try what I can.
Yeah, there's so much you can do on there, and it's like I haven't even scratched the surface on what you can do on there. But it's nice to kind of in bed at the end of the day just kind of pull it out and
draw something. or
Here
whatever.
we go about talking about now. Now we're not painting on walls no more. We're painting on a tablet.
Yeah.
It just
And then
Less
you just-
mess.
less
Less mess. You possibly not get fined or arrested or anything. It's a good thing, man. That's why I talk about like technology, and it's funny if you think about it. Like say our parents literally like they witnessed everything. Like my dad didn't grow up with a television. So when he came here to the States when he was like 14, he's like, oh shit, fucking television? This is sick, And then not only that, then you have computers, but they're like huge, And now we have fucking computers in our pockets. So I say that generation literally like they witnessed the fucking rise of technology and it's insane. Like it's
Yeah, when I grew up, I didn't have a cell phone until I was like 18. You know, and then the cell phones when I was growing up, they were those big ass fucking clunky ass things. And now it's like they're little things like you said, fit right in your pocket. You take it anywhere with you.
Now you can wear a ring that tells you have to take a piss.
Or breathe, like
or
my
breathe,
fucking watch tells
don't
me.
forget to breathe.
Don't forget to breathe.
I'm not dead, so I have been breathing.
Stand up, It's like, fuck, okay, I get it. I'm fat. Shit.
But see, like, that shit's cool, too. Like, there's that story that supposedly the guy, that supposedly his Apple Watch fucking saved his life because it recorded in the regular heartbeat.
Oh,
so it said, like,
shit.
maybe you need to get your blood pressure checked.
Oh.
So he went and they found that he had some sort of heart murmur or something like that.
Wow. No, I didn't hear about
Yeah,
that.
so there's that. So technology's good.
My shit would
Save
always
your
be
life.
dead, bro.
What do you mean? Oh,
Oh,
you
you
don't
watch-
charge.
Don't charge shit.
His phone is literally always at like 10%.
It's
and
on
I
10%,
and that
yeah.
astounds me. Like when people have their phones dying, like in the beginning of the day. I was like, why don't you just plug it in
Plug it in at
before you
night.
go to bed? Oh no, it's because I'm on it and then I just fall asleep and it's in my bed. What? How?
My
I've done it.
my old lady calls him.
Yeah.
Hey,
Where's
what's up?
James?
Like right here.
right here.
What's up?
Oh, he doesn't answer.
My
Oh,
phone's
'cause
dead.
We're all doing stuff.
Right? I know. It's
You know where to find me, okay? If you know your fucking name,
Right.
it's not that hard.
It's not hard to find me. You know where I'm at. But yeah, I think art is, to kind of go back to it, I think, it's an outlet, and I can't stress that enough, because I feel like, it helped me so much, growing up and, again, not really having a lot of friends and everything. And, recently, and I'm fine talking about it with my brother's suicide, which is a big, it had a huge impact on my life because me and my brother were like you guys. We were best friends and
I wouldn't say me and her are best
oh
friends.
well
Let's not go there. We're family.
we were yeah we were
friends.
close yeah so but it's like art, I started to get back into it because you need something to occupy your mind.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day I feel guilty if I'm not keeping busy, if I'm not doing something, because, why waste an hour of the day, or a few hours of the day when you could be doing something that could, you could pass on to somebody.
And it's a good thing, too, because you can either, contribute to something or,
Right.
and you never know. Maybe one
Right.
piece fucking goes fucking
Yeah, you never know.
viral and you help out some people. And,
Right.
and that's a good thing. And then it's a good mentality to have. It's like, well, I can watch TV, fucking look
Right.
at Johnny Depp videos for 2
Right.
hours,
Yeah.
or I can draw something, you know?
exactly.
And I always say it's a good,
It's
I
a
guess,
good, yeah.
mentality to have.
And you're molding a young mind. So
Exactly.
you have to be, but then too, you have to be able to
Yeah, you have to pick up the pieces.
pieces
Yeah.
and show him and,
Yeah.
use it as a,
and suicide is something that I feel doesn't get the proper attention. It's very taboo in a sense, because people are scared to talk about it. People are scared to talk about suicide, and mental health is a real thing. Depression, anxiety, it's a real thing. And so with my son, he's 8. That was his uncle. So I feel like I need to grieve. But I feel like you have to also be that figure to show him that at the end of the day, life goes on,
Yeah.
and we miss him and everything, but take the time that you have to create something, to, be a memory for somebody in a positive light, however that may be. So yeah, molding a young mind is very hard in these days, especially with, everything in the schools with these shootings and everything, because having to explain to my son on the way to school, if someone comes in with a gun, you have to hide. It's not a conversation you want to have with an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you don't want him to be ignorant either.
Of course.
You
yeah.
know?
no, definitely.
And so I say that also too is like, you have to be prepared for anything.
Yes.
At the end, it sucks, but you have to. And
Yeah.
like coming where we grew up, that was like a normal thing, you know. Where we would have to watch who comes into school. I tell this story all the time. It's like I was in fucking middle school. Some guys robbed the gas station in the corner, and they fucking hopped inside the school,
and went to school.
And inside the campus, and I literally saw some dude running with a shotgun in the fucking.
Oh shit!
I'm like, oh, this isn't good, and I just ran back. You know, it sucks, but it's it's shit that happens. Yeah. And a lot of it doesn't get televised, and when it's like really bad, like what recently happened.
You know, and I think too that it's been going on for a long time, but I think media and everything like that too. Like I remember when I went to Narbonne, some kid got stabbed on campus. You know, so it's like a lot of that stuff, as shocking as it is, has been going on for a very long time.
Yeah.
You know, it's just getting more attention now,
more exposure and all that.
You know, and it's
I don't know. We were gonna kind of talk about it, not really talk about it, but hey, man, you know what? This is what this platform's for. Here's my thing: like, you expect that at a high school if you're going to the hood. You need to be on your toes. You need to be, because you never know.
Right.
Who has something, who doesn't? You know what I mean? What's gonna set somebody off to go at somebody, and then you could be the wrong place, wrong time.
Right.
For me, anyways, you expect that. I expect that. Middle school to high school, that was expected. What's not expected is, like you said, having to tell your 8-year-old that, hey, this could happen. You know what I mean? Because that right there is like, again, you go up to the way people are brought up, like a child is innocent. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Up and till you get into middle school, then that's when you start getting influenced by different people and exposure to all these other things, to these older kids who are making their transformation into adulthood. Of you gonna be rolling with this hood, or are you gonna just do your thing, find whatever group you click with. You know what I mean? And I have friends in all walks, as Jose does. I associate with a bunch of different people. You know what I mean? And you see all of that, but at the end of the day, like, that's when that's growing up, and that's that. The whole you having to tell your 8-year-old who's going to grade school, hey, you have to be on game about that. That goes to, like, when I start my family or whatever, I have to think about that. That goes into me having to put my child on game, when now we're not giving these kids, we've talked about it, we're not giving these kids an opportunity to be kids. Now I got to put you on game on gun safety. I have to put you on game on all this. I have to make sure hey, look for your exits where you're at in a school. Look at all this stuff when I shouldn't have to be having this conversation with you. But guess what? This is the world we live in now, and this is what I have to do, and this is how it has to be. Because at the end of the day, as a parent, I'm not a parent, yet. Hopefully one day I am. You have to be able to, it's my job to get you home at the end of the day and keep you safe.
But that's the shit too, man. A lot of this stuff these people are doing is because they don't have that core family value.
Yeah.
A lot of these people are broken. They're evil. Like this guy, evil, straight fucking evil. Doesn't matter what he went through. What he did was fucking evil at the end of the day. Yeah. But that's why you need to have that core family value that you teach these young kids, because kids are very they fucking grab and fucking absorb everything.
They're like a sponge
for what they see. So if you have a kid and from very young you teach them right and wrong, and you show them, obviously you have the anomaly where fucking no matter what you can be a strict parent and teach them the right ways, and they'll go the other way. It happens. It's just life. But that's why I'm very like, you need to teach the core family values to young kids.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is like when my son was growing up, I never taught him color. So when he saw someone, they were never black or white. They were that guy with the green shirt or that lady with the pink purse, because that's how you instill that mentality. Like, and of course, everybody looks different, nobody's the same, but I didn't want him to grow up using that language. That person over there is black and that person, so it's like, you need to describe people as, their characteristics, who they are,
Yeah.
Versus, what they look like. Because I think that's such a big thing too, especially now. I think you said social media is a good and bad thing, because social media, weighs weighs a lot on our society as far as like what you should look like, and how you should, oh, well, I have this Gucci purse and, I drive this car, fuck all that shit. At the end of the day, it's who you are. You have to be comfortable with who you are as a person. And that's what I want him to learn is it's okay to, like, when he was little, he wanted me to paint his fingernails. I'll paint your fucking fingernails. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Then the kids started making fun of him at school. And so I would sit down and I had to explain to him, they're making fun of you because it's different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes people don't understand being different.
Mm-hmm.
They think of it as like, oh God, that's weird.
Yeah.
Instead of like, hey, that's cool, that's different. I don't usually see that. But it was sad that he got made fun of to the point where he didn't want to do it anymore. And I get it. Kids are kids,
Yeah, we're gonna joke.
We're gonna
say
joke
stuff,
and
we don't mean
shit
it. We're
like
just saying
exactly,
things. Yeah.
but
what happens.
it's just getting through that.
But then that's I say too. Like I mean, we've all been bullied. It's a
Exactly.
good life
Oh, yeah.
learning lesson to say, okay,
Yep.
this is what I do and this is what could happen. Okay,
Yeah.
I either want to keep doing it and just deal with it or clap
Yeah.
back at them,
Yeah.
or just not do it.
Right.
Know?
Yeah.
I mean, I like growing up in the hood. I grew up in the hood, you know what I mean? But I was raised by my dad who was showing me, the endless summer, 5 summer stories, surf videos from the 70s. I forget the guy's name now, it went blank, but I'm looking at these like, older Hawaiian cats, big curly hair, froze and stuff, and then I was like, I'm growing out my hair because that's the vibe that I want to kind of portray and whatnot, and
Right.
get made fun of. Oh, why do you have your hair like that? Why? Oh, that's a girly hairstyle and stuff,
Yeah.
and it's like I was like, damn, I wanted to cut my hair and stuff,
Yeah.
and I cut it, and then in high school, going into transition, when I was like, fuck that, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if I want to wear board shorts and a t-shirt. I'm gonna wear board shorts and a t-shirt, even though that's not in. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm gonna be different.
Yep.
And started getting like, oh, I love your hair by the chicks and stuff like that. And then I was like, oh, all right, I'm doing it.
You're like, I made the right move.
Yeah. One way to
Yeah.
fucking change a guy's mind is to get attention from girls. Like,
Yeah.
that'll fucking
But man, like, to your son, like, do you, man?
Well,
Look
that's
at
what I tell
freaking-
him.
What's little? Is it who's the guy with the nail polish line?
Oh,
the pins.
Lil Nas X?
No. Lil Yachty.
Oh, Lil Yachty.
Little Yachty came
Yes.
out with freaking nail polish
polish?
pins, and dude,
Yeah.
pimp, man, he's out there.
Yeah, I think it's important just for anybody, especially kids growing up. It's like you have to be comfortable in your own skin, especially getting into relationships, anything. If you're not comfortable with yourself, it's going to be very, very hard for any kind of relationship that you have, because you're going to be trying to fit a mold that is not designed for you, because everybody's different. And I think that's beautiful that everybody's different, and we're all different, but we're all different here, but we sit and we connect and we talk about it.
And we have some things in common.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we learn things from each other. Whereas if we judge solely based on, he has tattoos and, we would never talk to each other,
That's the thing. One thing that I really do like to say is that if in this world, if we were all the same, this fucking life would be boring.
Exactly.
So that's
be
one
like
thing
white
that I would
bread.
say. Yeah.
Yeah, the same in
boring
the
as
end,
shit.
bro. You're gonna be fucking wherever you choose to be burned, cremated.
Yeah,
At the
we're
end
all
of the
gonna
day,
end
bro,
up the
you
same
can't
thing.
take it with you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So-
Well, that's what I
Right.
tell him. Like, I have a really bad problem with spending money because,
Mm-hmm.
you can't take it with you. Where he, on the other hand, is very good with his money. And so it's like, I always tell him, he's like,
I got an old truck to build.
right. But it's like,
have to save.
I get paid and I'm like, hey, you want to go here? You want to do this? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, I got to put money in my savings. And I'm like, you can't take it with you when you go. Let's go. But to an extent, I mean,
Yeah,
of course,
of
you have
course,
to
you gotta-
save and all that
gotta
stuff.
be-
You have to
gotta be smart and
responsible.
responsible.
But it's just, we're all human.
We're all human, and we all can relate in
we
one
all
way or
bleed
another.
red.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's a good spot to end it on.
Agreed.
We got anything coming up or any?
Now, apparently, I'm
Amazing.
working on a shit piece.
Okay,
for the
we
table.
got that coming up.
So,
We're gonna do Amber Heard.
Amber Turd shitting on a bed.
Amber Turd,
Yes.
So we'll get that. We'll
Yeah.
unveil it.
Yeah.
On this. Wait. Oh no.
Shit on a pillow?
I don't. No. It was.
I was on the blanket
mattress,
or
on
the
blanket.
Yeah,
On the
yeah, yeah.
mattress, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a pillow. hello. I'm like, dude.
No, I'll show you the picture, dog. I got the uncensored version. I'll show it to you.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I got coming up is apparently shitting on the.
Swap me in Long Beach tomorrow.
Okay.
There you go.
No Zoot Suit cruise in LA.
My truck can't take it.
Oh,
Can't drive it. Ball joint's messed up.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you know who you are.
Oh,
Fuck
okay.
You know.
We'll leave it there because
Yeah,
I
right.
could go on a tangent about that.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
And then we'll go ahead and say, we're gonna be going to that jiu-jitsu tournament that MC Pancho brought up the other day.
I'll get the name and we'll post it on our Instagram. But shout out to MC Pancho for getting us he's hosting
it.
Got us a table there, so big shout out to him. And then we'll be at the Viclasos show in Long Beach. So if you haven't got a ticket, go get a ticket. And I think there's still tickets available for the jiu-jitsu event too. So if you guys haven't got tickets to those events, those are going to be really cool. The jiu-jitsu's at the Commerce Casino, and the Viclaso show is at the
Museum of Latin Arts in
the museum.
Long Beach. Yeah, and then they'll have, I think they said that Danny Trejo was going to be there, a bunch of like the dudes from the Mines
that'd be
show.
So if you're into art and into bikes,
so we'll be there. We'll record and we'll show what's going on over there too.
that'd
If
be a
that's
good one.
something that people are interested in.
yeah, Frank, aka MC Pancho, is going to be having a bunch of his Teen Angel stuff there. He's going to have a display on his prison art and some Teen Angel art. So yeah, come check it out if you're into that art
Kind of
scene
stuff,
or
whatever.
bikes
and
or
bikes
whatever.
too. Yeah, there's going to be bikes
So,
there too. And
yeah.
then go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave some comments, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. All right.
Take it easy.
Later.
Peace.